Sergeant Stubby, an American hero. Huh. Well, up until now, I didn't even know this movie existed. I heard it was released in a few theaters in America, but it never got a wide release here in Australia. But I guess since it counts as a theatrical animated film, I have to talk about it. Now, because I am an Australian, I didn't actually know much about this character or the stuff that actually happened during that time frame. But because I had to watch this movie, I decided, you know what, I might as well do a little bit of research. And from what I got, yeah, this is actually based on a true story. So let's see if it's actually anything faithful to what we actually got. The story focuses on a dog who served in the army, helping the Yankees fight off against the Germans during World War I. And the dog Stubby has a reputation of one of the most bravest dogs during the war. Right off the bat, I'll say I do like how this movie is really faithful to what happened. When I saw this movie and all the actions that Stubby does, I didn't have a hard time believing that this actually happened. It visually shows how he helped out in the war, how he's warning someone when a gas attack is about to happen, or when a soldier is injured. It does a great job showing the heroic acts of Stubby, and it does it faithfully. Even though this is a family-friendly movie, it won't hesitate to show some very serious stuff that happened during the war. The character of Stubby is a little hard to explain. He's not a talking dog, it's hard to get much of a personality out of him because he's just a dog. He's kind of a combination between a wartime dog and a house dog, which is fine, but again, it's hard to get any kind of personality out of him. As a character, there isn't much to him, but at the same time, I don't mind it because it's trying to show the realistic events of what happened in the past. It also has some very strong heartwarming moments between a man named Conroy and a man named Gaston Baptiste. They share some genuinely good moments with each other where they talk about their problems, their personal sides during downtimes. It's probably my favorite relationship in the entire movie because it makes them feel more three-dimensional. It's strong, it's sad, it's effective. It's kind of sad though because the main relationship in this movie is between Stubby and Conroy, and it's standard stuff. I didn't quite like it as much as the other one, but it's what I expected of this movie. My main issue with this movie is how the plot is executed. Because it's a family movie, it tries to sugarcoat all the things that actually happened during the war. I mean, sometimes they'll have a character being wounded and there's no blood. Come on, guys, you can't get away with that. As I said towards the beginning, if this movie was geared towards more an older audience, I think they could get away with some of this stuff a lot more and maybe it could have been a little bit more mature. But because it is a kids-friendly movie, I can't exactly see it as this perfect representation of what happened during the war. All I'm mostly seeing in this movie is a dog that's trying to help and some mild violence every now and then. Don't get me wrong, it had a lot of good stuff in it, and if I wanted to rewatch it, I definitely would, but I can't see it as a perfect or even a great movie when some of the stuff represented in it is kind of sugar-coated. I will say this though, it's definitely a way better kid-friendly wartime film than Valiant. That movie is so boring, at least this one managed to get across most of its portrayals fairly well. Not great, just well. If you're curious to check this movie out, go find it. It's probably not going to be hard to find. This will probably end up being one of those movies that you find at a DVD bin for like $5. I kind of wish something like that happened with Norm of the North. But at least it was decent enough to where I would probably want to buy it. It's a decent kids movie. Again, I wish it wasn't a kids movie, but for what it got across, I think it did it alright.